Podcast Network. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy hump day, hump day. Hey, Alicia, how are you, sweetheart? Okay, I gotta share this out. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody on your hump day? I hope that you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. We have some updates. Oh, thank you, Alicia. You're super kind. Thank you, thank you. Thank you all for coming in. Please like, tap, share this out into the universe so we can get out there on the algorithm. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, my love. Oh, that's so sweet. Absolutely. What's Mama making? I see you, Mariana. Hey, baby. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. So as we begin to share this out and you guys are tapping and liking, I just wanted to let you know there have been some updates in the Micah Miller case. Oh, thank you so much, Alexis. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're just new to the channel. So, hey, baby. So, we have the 911 call, and we have some updates about the timeline of events surrounding her untimely passing that we're going to go over this morning. I did want to show you guys, I wanted to share with you guys that we have been, yesterday was a big day. A friend of ours, Starlight, you all know her. Hello, Starlight. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tasha. And hey, from Scotland. Wow. So hello, Starlight, yesterday turned me on to some really interesting stuff and some really interesting, thank you guys, really interesting footage that I had not seen in a very long time in the Gypsy Rose case. In fact, I'd never seen one of the videos that we played at all. And that was the entire press conference that Sheriff Arnott gave when they were apprehended. And it was very enlightening because it really showed that the reporters at the time were very much on the financial fraud and the medical fraud, not child abuse, fraud. And they were asking all the right questions, and that's how the original stories broke. And I know a lot of those reporters that were in that room because I've talked with them and I've been interviewed by them at the Springfield News later. Greg Holloman did a wonderful job of reporting on this case. I thought he did great. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. Oh, cool. All right, thank you. All righty. So mods are in the house. Yeah, I've been trying to do some more lives for you guys, but it was very interesting because the answers, I think the answers that Sheriff Arnott gave were not the ringer in that, was not the thing that you made you go, oh, wow, that's what they're doing. No, it was really the way that the reporters were trying to cover the story when it first broke. They had the right story. And then KB came along and effed up that story. They were even going to reopen the burglary from April, where Gypsy blamed the little girl down the street that had a key to their house that was, autistic and mentally disabled, her mother said, on that. And you know what? That wasn't her. It was Gypsy stealing the freaking money to send to fucking Nick. So that never went anywhere. They closed the case. That Sheriff Arnett was going to reopen the case because people were asking about it. So it's a really interesting little bit of archives, and we're going to be going through those a little bit later today. If you missed yesterday's we did 2 lives yesterday about it. 3 lives. I did a live about Micah Miller yesterday, so that was the introduction to the Micah Miller. I did one with Starlight. Hello, Starlight. Then I came and did my own, and then I think we came back with a 4th one yesterday. Yeah, we did a lot. They were blaming the money missing on a little girl from the neighborhood. Yes, she was a woman. She was a disabled young lady, early 20s maybe. She lived on her own, but she was capable of taking care of herself, but she was very challenged. And yes, they tried to blame it on her. That's what Gypsy did. She tried to blame it on this autistic girl. Do you see a pattern here? Because I sure see a pattern here. She finds people that are, mentally weakened in some way. She really likes preying on autistic people, from what I can tell. I'm autistic. Nick's autistic. This girl was autistic. I think she really gets off on it in a way. I don't know. I think she finds some sick satisfaction in it. Yeah, it is new info to me. Yeah, I know. It's new info about a lot of it. So we covered it yesterday. They're up on YouTube and Facebook on our Good Wives Net. So, so go ahead and make sure that if you have missed our Micah Miller, it's up from yesterday. If you missed our Gypsy missing footages, they're up from yesterday. We'll be covering those later today. We're still going to keep going through the articles that we found on that and deep diving into more of those questions. And I think it's going to give us some more things to dig in on and look at and see, hey, what really took place here, because we just don't have the complete story. We just don't, right. Exactly. Yes. You said she has too much confidence and narcissism for someone who has been abused for decades. I agree with that. I agree. All right. But I'd really like to jump into the Micah Miller timeline here. I'm going to put it up right here. And then, hold on one second. And then we'll get into this. We'll go through the timeline. I'm going to play the 911 call for you and a couple other calls that a friend of ours, Conspiratee, was able to locate. So if you want to hear them and support her, please go over and share and like her content on this, and especially on the Micah Miller. She's also covered Gypsy in good detail. She's a pretty smart kid. I think she's really amazing. So we'll be sharing from her TikTok today, Conspiratee, what she uncovered. Yeah, there really is. There was so much that should have been brought up before she was in it. And honestly, the one thing is that I really felt like Sheriff Arnott, for a small town local sheriff, he did an amazing job in the presser. And I felt like his detectives did a great job. I think that they were heavily influenced to stop doing what they were doing and investigating the path that they were investigating by the DA, Dan Patterson. And by taking that plea deal, it all went away. They had their man. They had Nicholas dead to rights. He's confessed. It's all over, folks. Goodbye. And they really had no reason to even deal with him or make him a deal. So they gave him a shitty freaking deal, But it's just freaking horrible what happened in all of this, and that the world has been sold this lie. She's now made herself this sympathetic victim when she is absolutely 100% the cold-blooded perpetrator in this. And it's disgusting to me to see how she has tortured, basically her mother's memory. She has desecrated anything about her mother, and her family has helped. And I'm not even going to just say Christy has. The entire family has helped vilify Dee Dee Blanchard in every single way, to the point where all their fanciful stories that they tell, I don't believe a single one of them is true. I think they've embellished. I think that they told the media what they wanted to hear so they could get paid and participate in the drama and the documentaries, because you know what? I think they enjoy being noticed, them all, and it's kind of sad. I mean, some of the Petries have stayed quiet, and not made a big stink, but I don't believe anything any of them say at this point, because Dee Dee's not here. And so we are looking for unbiased opinions. If you knew Dee Dee or Gypsy outside of this family, I would love to hear what you have to say, because I'm looking to find out more about Dee Dee. I want to know about her. I understand she was a con artist. I understand that you think that she abused her child. I understand that you think she's a bad girl, a bad woman, okay? A bad parent, a bad mom, whatever you want to think. But what I can tell you is this. Every story I've ever heard about Dee Dee has been not nice. And that to me speaks more volumes about the fact that if these people can't even come up with one nice thing to say about her, I begin to wonder how much of it is them just wanting to have their 15 minutes, because I mean, I can sit, and even with people I absolutely despise, I can think of one good moment, that when I was their friend or I was their family member, that I wished I remember, oh, that was a good day. And nobody wants to give the good days with Dee Dee. And I think that that's more because they want to paint this picture than it is for anything more than that. Hey, Natasha. We're about to get into Micah Miller, guys. So, but that's what I want to say. I'm looking for more stories about Dee Dee. I have some people that have come forward that are sharing things with me, and I'm working on that for the documentary. It'll be heavily in our documentary. But so if that's somebody like you, if you have been close to this family, or you have more information or stories to tell, we are here. There's a story there, and we'd like to have it. So, alrighty, let's start this timeline of events with the Micah Miller. Okay, so you guys won't be able to see what I'm having over here, but if you go to our YouTube or our Facebook, you can see all you can see what I'm scrolling through. I'm actually on the postandcourier.com because they have put out this wonderful timeline of events that happened. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Keep tapping and sharing. We always appreciate it. You can always buy us a coffee at goodwivesnet.com. You can support us through the Patreon link. We have super chats, and we're going to be starting memberships for you guys. So I appreciate all the love, all the support that you guys give us. Okay, so starting here, it's the first picture they have is just this. Micah Miller's family is grieving by the ocean in North Myrtle Beach during a memorial service on May 5th, 2024. And so let's see here. Oh, wait, I need to go up to the top. That's what we need to do. Okay. So we've even got the Ring doorbell footage at this point, which I will be taking that and I'll clip it and put it up for you guys. So starting here, we are starting with Sheriff Burns Wilkins released a timeline of events from April 27th that led to Miller's death. Hi, guys. Thank coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're starting at 11 a.m. on April 27th. And hang on, I'm going to pull this down over here. Make this go this way so I can still see your comments. Okay, move that up. And then move this over here. Okay. All right, now we should be able to do it. So at 11 a.m., Micah Miller was observed on her Ring camera arriving at her residence on Margarita Drive in Myrtle Beach. At 11:30 a.m., Micah Miller was observed on her Ring camera leaving her residence. At 12:12 p.m., Micah Miller was seen on store surveillance walking into Dick's Pawn Shop in Myrtle Beach. At 12:13, Micah Miller goes to the register to purchase a firearm. At 12:34 p.m., Micah Miller leaves Dick's Pawn Shop after purchasing a gun and a GUN and ammunition. 1:06 p.m., Micah Miller's black Honda Accord is observed traveling on U.S. Highway 501 near 4 Mile Road in Conway. 1:27 p.m., Micah Miller's car is observed arriving at 41 Grocery and Grill, which is at 41 SC 41 in Mullins. At 1:35, Micah Miller is observed leaving the store after purchasing a drink and gas. 2:45 p.m., Miller called 911 dispatch in Robeson County from Lumber River State Park, and the Lumber River State Park is 32.7 miles, about 41 minutes from the 41 Grocery and Grill in Mullins, where she had been seen before. Is that where it ends? Why is there no more? Hold on. There should be more of this. Fudge. Let me pull up the other one. There's another one I had up. Hold on. All right, let me try this one. Let's see if this one goes further. Yeah, okay, so this one's more in detail, so I'm going to give you this one here real quick because we can see all the pictures and everything in here. So let me get this up. Hold on. Just a second, guys. Sorry, bear with me. Comments now. Just a second. Present. Here we go. Share screen. There we go. All right. How you guys doing? You guys following along with me so far? Have you heard of this case? Have you been following the Micah Miller case at all? If you have been, I'd love to know what your thoughts are in the chat. Okay, so here we go. So in here, we're gonna let me show you, starting over from the top here. So we've got this is the park that she was in. It's called the Lumbar State Park. That's where she went. Okay, you can see this is her Ring doorbell footage right here. Okay, that's her leaving the residence now. At 12:12 p.m., Miller is seen on store surveillance walking into Dick's pawn shop. Okay, so you've got that there. This is her buying the weapon. She looks pretty happy for a person that's about to unalive herself. You think she planned her own death? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. At 1:06, here's her Honda going down the highway. You see her stopping in for gas. Okay, so at 1:35, Miller is seen leaving the store after buying a drink and gas. At 2:54 p.m., 911 call was made from an 843 area code number. Micah Miller asked if her phone could be located and then threatened to unalive herself. Micah hung up the phone before further information could be gathered by dispatch. The telecommunicator tried to call Micah back multiple times and was unable to make contact. The 911 call you're about to hear deals with the suicide, with the unaliving, and can be sensitive for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Okay, so we're going to play that right now.
You dream, you plan, you work every hour, every day, every night. There is no such.
Robeson County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Let me see. You don't know where you're at?
In National Park.
What's the phone number you're calling me from?
843-655-5242.
Where's the park located at?
In Bear Bluff.
Let's see.
I have my location on, I think, on my phone. Find my phone is on. I just did my my location.
Okay, I'm showing, hold on 1 second.
Still going.
I don't think you are in Robeson County. Are you at the Lumber River State Park?
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. Tell me what's happened.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
Okay, ma'am. Just listen to what I'm saying, okay? Let me make sure I got the exact location where you're at, okay? Just 1 minute.
Multiple memorials held today to honor Mike.
Okay, so that was the 911 call. I'm going to come back to it and talk about it in a second. I just want to go through the rest of what happened throughout the day. That call, there's a lot of things about that call that I want to talk about. it seems off to me in many ways. And so we'll talk about that in a second. Okay. So the 911 call came in at 2:54 p.m. At 3:03 p.m., Robeson County deputies were dispatched to the Lombard River State Park for a well-being check and to attempt to locate Micah. Contact was made with the Lombard River State Park superintendent at 3:05. At 3:20 p.m., deputies request phone ping. At 3:31 p.m., deputies arrive at Lombard River State Park and begin the search with state park rangers. At 3:30 p.m., Robeson County Sheriff's Office Aviation Division Air 3 SUAV drone was dispatched to the Lombard River State Park. Telecommunicator at 3:42, the telecommunicator contacted Verizon to request an updated location ping. At 3:50, detectives with Air 3 SUAV arrived at the Lumber River State Park. While conducting an aerial search, detectives were approached by a person who said he found a bag while fishing with Micah's ID inside. Detectives took possession of the bag. The Robeson County Sheriff's Office findings said this person heard crying and then a gunshot. The person stated he went further into the slough where he found the bag about 2 feet from the water's edge. At 4:23 p.m., an individual contacted Robeson County and said he located a body in the water. He had been fishing on his kayak when he found this body. Searching deputies secured the area for an investigation. At 5:30 p.m., Chief of Detectives for RCSO arrives at the incident location. At 5:45 p.m., detectives and RCO arrive at the incident location. The medical examiner was contacted and requested. CSI technician photographed the area of investigation to include the vehicle belonging to Micah Miller. Items of evidence were collected from her car and the incident location. Investigators located a Sig Sauer gun case in the passenger seat of the vehicle and a box of ammunition in the center console of the vehicle. Investigators also found a receipt for the handgun from a pawn shop and a receipt from a convenience store in the vehicle. Both receipts were dated for the same day of Miller's death. The serial number on the weapon found in the water at the crime scene matched the gun box, but that was found in Miller's Honda Accord. Yeah, see, things aren't adding up to me in this case either. Just something is not right. Right, and see, Marissa, that's my thing with the 911 call. That the operator doesn't try to assist her or try to tell her to not do it. It just seems odd. But anyway, 7:11 p.m. The firearm is located in the water. April 26 and 27, John Paul Miller's whereabouts. The investigation also revealed that Miller and her estranged husband, John Paul Miller, had been separated and were involved in the legal system. Deputies said this information led investigators to confirm his whereabouts and a woman John Paul is allegedly romantically involved with. Now, that girl has lied, or look, I'm not going to say she lied, but she has said that they're not romantically involved, and I don't buy a word of the cockamamie story that she came up with as to why she was having dinner with him and looking all cozy with him after his wife's murder or death. Sorry, death. We're calling it a death right now, you know. I mean, it could be. I mean, definitely, I do believe she could have. There is a possibility that she could have absolutely unalived herself, you know. But I also think that there is more to the story than meets the eye. And even if she did unalive herself and it's not her husband or something else, then I'm sure that the violence, the domestic violence, the abuse that she had endured, being married to this man, being groomed by this man since she was 14 years old, I definitely believe it played a huge part. And I think she felt like she was never going to escape him, no matter even if she divorced him. I don't think she felt like she was going to be able to escape him. And see, Lana, that's where I'm headed to. I think he paid someone. I do. I think something like that happened to me. And I think, you know, let's just finish with the timeline and then we'll come back to that. Okay. A woman who they're romantically involved with. Investigators confirmed both were not in North Carolina on the night before or the day of Micah's death. Investigators determined John Paul traveled to Charleston for a sporting event on April 26th, the day before Micah died. This was proven through eyewitness and license plate readers. Detectives confirmed he stayed overnight in the Charleston area. John Paul Miller returned to Myrtle Beach on April 27th while traveling to and from Charleston. He was with other people. Micah's family met with deputies to discuss their investigation findings. However, John Paul Miller asked Robeson County Sheriff Office to meet him in South Carolina. Sheriff Burns Wilkins said they do not plan to travel to South Carolina. So he wouldn't even come to where they were conducting the investigation to be there for his wife. So, news reports released Monday detailed harassment incidents leading up to Miller's death and that she was afraid for her life. Friends and family held a rally Sunday out front of Solid Rock Church calling for justice for Micah. Micah's family also held a memorial service Sunday afternoon. At the same time, a memorial service hosted by Micah's estranged husband, Pastor John Paul Miller, was held at the Solid Rock Church. An announcement made by the church Monday said Pastor John Paul Miller was released from his ministerial functions for a time of healing, counsel, and guidance pursuant to our governing instrument. The church's website was also suspended over the weekend. Oh, I didn't know that. And then they just want to make sure you guys know if you or someone you know is struggling, you can call the Unaliving and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988. It's available in English or Spanish 24 hours a day. So that is that. Next, before we go into the next thing here, I want to go up here. No, that's not what I want to do. Hold on. No, what is playing? Hold on, guys. Because Conspiracy uncovered a couple of things. Hey, Sarah, you want to come up in the box? You can come up. Hey, girlfriend. Okay, hold on. I've got it here. Okay, here are the dispatch.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hang on.
Great.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm about to play the dispatch calls in between. So we played the 911 call. You guys heard that. Now I'm going to share with you the dispatch calls in between them finding her, and this was uncovered by our friend Conspiracy. So I'm sharing her TikTok. Guys, go over and follow her and give her some love because she's doing a great job covering this case. She has been diving pretty deep down into it, and I'm pretty impressed. So here we go. This is a 2-minute clip. We're going to go ahead and play it real quick.
Ever since this case came out, I have been poring over the dispatch calls, which are available online. You just have to have a membership. I am not saying that this is for fact. I'm just going to show you what I found, and maybe someone can confirm if this is normal. Robeson County says Micah made this phone call at 2:54 p.m. When you go to the archives, they will show you the date and times and slots. So this is April 27th. It starts at 2:30. And then the last time is 2:52 p.m. Now, this is the dispatch call logs. So this is not like when someone calls 911 and this is it. This is the 911 dispatcher dispatching police, fire, EMS, whoever. So this is the Robeson County Sheriff's one. This one ends at 2:52. Then the very next time slot that is available is 3:01. So in between 2:54 and 3:05, we do not hear the dispatcher mention anything about someone who called in saying that they were going to do what she did and dispatching them. Very first mention that we hear is she says, "I'm not able to get that female back on the line." Someone mentions being at a state park and checking a pier. They mention a GUN inside of a vehicle and then a body in water. So I will share those with you.
Robeson 26. 1014, we made contact with someone from the state park. They advised he's going to check the pier that he's familiar with, and he's going to call us back. I'm still unable to get that female back on the line.
Okay, I'm Russell. Case, just be advised, inside this vehicle is a handgun.
Okay.
Have y'all made a locate yet?
Info, you're right on top of us. There's a body in the water.
So I don't know if this is normal. I don't know if maybe they removed it because of the sensitive nature or not. I just thought I would share. So, in regards to the 911 call that Micah Miller made, ever since this case came out, I have been
Okay.
pouring.
So those were the dispatch calls. And I think it's really interesting. It doesn't say that they are dispatching. What they're talking about is that they can't seem to reach her back on the phone again. But I don't have the and this is what Conspiracy was talking about. There is no actual like dispatch call dispatching them out there, and that seems odd. And she's wondering if it's removed. I think. Okay, yeah, restricted for that's fine. Restricted for age, that's perfectly fine. Look, I can't tell you what it is. I'm telling you that this is what she is talking about. That's where Conspiracy found this. She's talking about it. So if it's not the dispatch calls, then okay, but it says that's what it is. She paid for the service. I don't know. Did I hear them say there's a GUN in the car? Yeah, there is. So I'm not sure. What do you think, Sarah?
Well, I watched your first episode last night before I was going to bed, and so it's a little bit fuzzy, but like I think this is so suspicious. I mean, he really went out of his way to try to make her look crazy, but you know, when she takes the car to the dealership because she's got a slash tire, I mean, they check it out and they do find that a GPS tracker has been placed on her vehicle. So she wasn't crazy, you know, to find out that, you know, how many wives has he had?
I think this is his second wife.
Second wife? Okay. For some reason I was thinking it was his third, but didn't the other wife pass away under suspicious?
I don't know about that yet. I haven't looked into his first wife yet. No. I know that that Micah was the babysitter at 14. He met her at 14. She was a youth, he was the youth pastor at that time. And did you hear the 911 call, Sarah, that I played earlier? I want to play it again. All right, you need to hear the 911 call. It's suspicious. It's weird. Like here, I want to show you guys so you guys can see. Since I didn't have it over here, I want to flip through all these little things for you real quick so you guys can see this. So this is this is the park that she was at, and there's that. They've got the Ring doorbell footage is right here. This is her entering her residence. This is her leaving her residence. This is where she's spotted at Dick's pawn shop. She's purchasing the firearm. That's the case that they find in the car. So I'm thinking when they said that there's a GUN in the car, they're thinking that it's this case, and it's probably in the case is what I would assume. That's just that. So here's her car traveling down the road. She's pulling in for gas. And then here is this 911 call. And it's, hold on a second. Let me play it one more time for over here. Stop screen, present, share screen. Got it. All right. So let me play it for you guys again. It's trigger warning. It is it's a little disturbing. It's upsetting. And I'm more concerned with what the dispatcher does and doesn't do than I am about anything else in this. It's very strange.
Every hour, every day, every night. There is no such.
Multiple memorials held today to honor Mica Miller, 30-year-old Myrtle Beach woman who died at Lumber River State Park in Robeson County. ABC 15's Jenna Jereza was up and down the Grand Strand today, talking with dozens of people who knew Mica and who all spoke very highly of who she was.
What do we want? What do we want? Yeah.
Multiple memorial services held in the Grand Strand Sunday.
She was just the nicest
That's
person.
not what I'm looking for. Why did it change out? It's supposed to be the 911 call right here, but It was earlier. Maybe I could go back. No, what happened to the 911 call? I just had it a second ago. Jeez Louise. Hold on, let me refresh this and see here. I'm telling you, I had the 911 call just seconds ago. Hold on. Here it is. Okay, here we go. What? Dang it, I just literally scrolled past it again. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. I don't know why my computer is being so sensitive, but it's being very sensitive right now. And it's not letting me scroll like I normally can scroll. There we go. Product what I was trying to do. It's like flipping backwards and forwards. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
You dream, you plan, you work every hour, every day, every night. There is no.
Robeson County 911. What's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Let me see. You don't know where you're at?
At National Park.
What's the phone number you're calling me from?
843-655-5242.
Where's the park located at?
In Bear Bluff.
Let's see.
I have my location on, I think, on my phone. Find my phone is on. I just did my my location.
Okay, I'm showing. Hold on one second. I don't think you are in Robeson County.
Okay. Oh, for crying out loud. I got a violation warning because I shared personal information from a news report, for Christ's sake. These people are so freaking ridiculous in how they fucking report us and harass us. It's so damn stupid.
Do you have to leave and come back, or
No,
are you just going
I'm
to keep
just gonna
going?
keep going. They're so stupid. They're just stupid. It's just the dumbest shit.
That was Micah calling 911.
That was her.
And basically saying, like, it sounds like she doesn't know where she's at.
No, she's trying to make sure that they can locate her phone. So that she wants to make sure that 911 can ping her phone so that they can find her, is what she's saying. I find it very suspicious. It to me, it's a suspicious for several reasons. First of all, the dispatcher to me seems so lackadaisical about the fact that this person has called in and told them that they're considering unaliving themselves. That is not proper protocol for how you handle it, and just keep going, well, yeah, I'm looking for your phone. Just a minute.
Dispatcher.
Like
the
she
dispatcher acted like they didn't have any idea what they were doing.
Like she didn't even acknowledge that the woman said, I'm going to unalive myself. She just went, oh, okay, well, I'm looking for, what? Are you new? I mean, that just does not, that seems weird. And then, I don't know, something about, she's smiling when she's buying this GUN. And then I don't know the laws in North Carolina, But does she reside in North Carolina or South Carolina? Because he's in South Carolina now.
Everything on her says Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
So she was in North Carolina, right, when she buys this in Lombard County, is what I'm understanding. Because he wouldn't come to North Carolina to be questioned. He would not come. So she goes to this park, and it just seems odd to me though that she can purchase a firearm with no waiting period, no background check, no. How does that happen? I understand it's a pawn shop, but that's not how it works here. I don't know how it works in North Carolina, especially if you're out of town. It's a totally different experience than when you're in town.
It's different in different states. A lot of southern states have no waiting period. You can walk in and buy one and walk back out at the same time.
That's so terrible. Now, see, I'm not it's so funny because my daughter and I, we talk about the gun laws or the GUN laws all the time. And, of course she's liberal. So she's more, I think guns are bad, but she believes in them, that they are necessary for, protection, and we should have the right to have them. But she's like, we just need better gun laws. We need better laws. And I'm thinking, well, here's a point where, I would say this would be we would need a better law here. You should not be able to walk into a pawn shop the day of, walk right out with a firearm and nothing. That is not okay for me. I just, no matter what side of the political side of the GUN laws and everything that you stand on, I think this is exactly prime example of why this should not happen.
Yeah, but gosh, I mean, even though she made a purchase of a GUN, I almost feel like, from everything I've read and seen, I almost feel like she was purchasing it not to unalive herself, but to protect herself, because she was being stalked, harassed, bullied, followed, tires slashed, GPS device put on her vehicle and made to look crazy. Now, I can tell you that when my ex, who is very, abusive and extreme narcissist, he put tracking devices on my vehicle. He put tracking devices. He had got the state's attorney to put a wiretap on my phone.
Yeah.
So, and when I tell people that stuff, they think I'm crazy, but it's all facts.
Right.
And it feels like, to me, she was going through the same situation.
Yeah.
And she tells her family and friends, if anything happens to me, it's his fault.
He put it, yeah.
And she specifically says, if I am unalived by a pew-pew, it's definitely him.
Yeah.
So apparently he must be the owner of several firearms, I would assume.
So somebody in the chat said that they felt like maybe with all the information that's come out, maybe she was driving to meet somebody there, and she brought the gun or the GUN. I hate having to say stupid words. Pew for protection from whoever she was possibly meeting. I mean, that would make sense to me in some way.
That's what I just said. I don't feel like it was purchased as an unaliving mechanism. I think it was purchased for self-defense.
Right, exactly. And so,
I mean, she made plans with her friends. She scheduled a hair appointment for the next week.
Yeah, I know that, and she got a drink and she ate. Like, I get that, but I mean, that can happen. You can't base it on that. I mean, those are suspicious pieces, but it's not uncommon in self-unalivings for people to do that, to make plans, to do whatever, and then in a split moment just decide, no, I'm done. I agree. I think she possibly, if she did this herself, which is a possibility, I do think that she could have done it specifically to bring the world down on him, to bring out all the things that he does, and because this is not a simple case here. He has done a lot of things, and I found something
very young, and it seems to me like he was grooming her from a very young age.
And see, the fisherman is suspicious to me too, sissy girl. He hears her crying, but no one else. And then he hears the shot. Like, I'm suspicious of of the person who found her. I'm suspicious of the person who found the pew pew. Yeah, like a Gone Girl situation. Exactly. But I don't think she wanted him to go down for her murder. I think that she wanted to bring awareness to how horrible he was. And I think she felt like she had no escape from him. Even if she left him, he was still harassing her and doing all these different things. And so I feel like she just really felt there's no end for me here. He's never going to leave me alone. He's going to eventually do it himself. He's eventually going to unalive me. I might as well just do it myself. And bring awareness to him and make sure that he's exposed for who he is, you know?
But his behavior after the unaliving is extremely suspicious.
Yes.
I agree with you. I mean, I couldn't believe that he did a morning service, early service, and a late service, and then didn't even announce her death until the end at the altar call, and then asks everyone to not talk about it and leave the church quietly. I mean, he could have let the senior pastor handle both services, and he could have, not done that. But it was very poorly handled, and I'm just so suspicious of him.
Okay, so somebody asked if she had kids. What I'm reading here is the couple did not have any children of their own, but John Paul Miller had 5 children from a previous marriage, which ended in 2016. Micah Miller and John Paul Miller were married on November 7th of 2017. According to court documents, she would have been 23 and he would have been about 38.
And I thought the first wife passed away too.
Let me look it up.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was, when I was watching all this, maybe I got a little drowsy and heard somebody say something about a question to the regards of what happened with his first wife, but there was definitely problems. So Shortcake said his first wife is still alive.
Okay.
But Little Mama said she heard that too. So yeah, I don't know why this is going around that the first wife is deceased as well. So
I'm not sure, and I'm not finding it here. This is on firescaliph.cat, and it says a wife accused her pastor husband of molestion. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Before her body was found in a park days after filing for divorce. The girlfriend's husband died in 2021. Okay, cool.
Yes. There we go. Just lurking. Yeah. Drowned alone in a pool, but this dude was in a wheelchair. So they were saying, like, why was he even out by the water?
Right. So here is Robeson County Medical Examiner Dr. Richard Johnson ruled her death a self-unaliving. He said, given the nature of the wound, it can be concluded that it is a self-inflicted pew shot wound, and it was not a wound to the back of the head, as was speculated. Court documents say the woman was found dead 2 days after her husband, the Reverend John Paul Miller of Solid Rock Church on Market Common, received divorce papers from her. Let's see, what else is there? She told her siblings she feared for her life, told her sister that if she was ever found dead in the same way she was found in the park, her husband was responsible for her death, according to an affidavit filed by her younger sibling, Sarah Francis, in Horry Probate Court. Ms. Francis said in a statement, Micah repeatedly told me that if I end up with a bullet in my head, it wasn't me, it was JP. She also claimed that the woman who met her husband when she was 14 or 15 and he was 28 or 29, feared for her life and told family and other church members about his brutal abuse. In a separate statement, Ms. Miller's brother, Nathaniel Francis, said she had found a tracking device in her car and their tires had been punctured more frequently in the weeks before her death, according to the New York Post.
Right. And that was one thing that you and I discussed, was the fact that with her filing for the divorce, it was going to open up the financial records.
Yes.
For him, and him being a pastor, being paid through a nonprofit, you know, they don't have to pay taxes or report anything to the government if they're nonprofit. And nobody wants that kind of exposure. And that's why I feel like that gives him a lot of motive.
Right. Shortcake, I've heard that about him going to the state parks as well. And I think that's interesting that that's where she chose to be. You know, I could make a case for either side of this. We're going to have to know more. Here's some interesting more information, though. The pastor reportedly confessed and apologized to Miss Miller for slashing the tire and damaging the car via emails. And the woman sent to her brother. In the document he wrote, Mr. Miller's email to my sister continued to state that he was angry when Micah confided in him or introduced the family, which made him want to hurt her. In his words, when someone hurts me, I try to hit them back instead of forgiving. And instead of forgiving you, I just attack and try to inflict pain. This is a pastor's words. What pastor is talking about hitting back instead of forgiveness? I'm sorry. Doesn't the Bible teach you to turn the other cheek, mofo?
Right. And it says that, you know, the Bible says, you know, God says that, you know, vengeance is mine, you know. Let God handle your enemies, you know. You don't take that into your hands. So, I mean, that just sounds awful, and especially coming from a pastor.
Right. You know, and I understand, you're right. I mean, I really do think the way I'm leaning towards right now is that I think that she did plan this. The state park, she put, you know, a gunshot wound to the head, you know. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna do the Daybell trial tonight, Norma. I'm gonna recap every night, but I have to do Monday and Tuesday tonight. Tomorrow night will be my Wednesday one. But we're talking about Micah this morning. This is our morning show. In the afternoon, but you know, it started in the morning.
Oh, by the way, I sent you a message. I don't know if you saw it. I asked if we were going live tonight.
Yeah, we can do that. Whatever time you want to do.
Okay. Because we had planned it yesterday. We were going to go over some more videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to do that. Well, more of the article that was found that has a bunch of stuff there. I don't know if there's, our brunch live. Thank you, Amy. We're our brunch live. You know, she was found with it says police reports from March 11 detailed Miss Miller's alleged stalking. Although the suspect name was redacted, she told officers she feared for her life because the suspect showed up at her location multiple times that day, and mechanics later found a tracking device in her vehicle. And see, it's not saying that it was him. So I'm wondering who is this suspicious person that showed up at her work and then they find the tracking device? That's not her husband. Who is that?
Are you sure it's not her husband?
It doesn't seem like it, the way it's worded. Let me read. Police reports from March 11 detail Ms. Miller's alleged stalking. Although the suspect's name was redacted, she told officers she feared for her life because the suspects showed up at her location multiple times that day, and mechanics later found a tracking device in her vehicle. If it was a suspects and it was her husband, they wouldn't have freaking redacted the name. That would have been because there would no be reason for that. It would prove.
Okay, so then I would say that those were the church. I think that he, you know,
maybe
had
some of his elders
at the church.
Yep, following her.
Yeah, and church members probably stalking her.
Right.
We've seen that happen before.
Sure. You know, that call, the way she makes the call, it's, I don't know. It's almost like somebody made her make the call.
Right, right. Like we've heard that 911 call before when someone was abducted and they were pretending to talk to their sister, and they were being very, suspicious. Only this 911 dispatcher had the common sense to say, like, can you not say where you are? And she's just like, no. And then they were like, have you been abducted? And she's just like, yeah, for sure. And they had this like little fake conversation, but it was brilliant work on the part of the 911 dispatcher. This 911 dispatcher doesn't act like she knows what she's doing at all.
Right. That's how I feel.
Yeah, she's calling the 911 dispatcher. Where am I? Can you see my phone?
Right. Yeah, because she's not making the call while she's driving there. She made the call from there.
Yes.
So what if she got there, like we said, she was smiling when she bought the pew pew. She goes in for gas and a drink, and then she drives down to that park, and she's, the phone call, it's odd. It's just, the more I hear it, the more is odd.
It's very cryptic.
Yeah, it's almost like she's trying to get them to figure something out.
Like to come there. It's like she's wanting them to come there.
Yeah.
And this dispatcher has no idea what she's doing.
Yeah, and she doesn't seem upset on any of the videos. Yes, like leaving clues, Amy. And it could be, that she decided to leave clues so that they would find her and all that. But it's just something about that call is just really off. But just take the dispatcher out of it, and the fact that she's not doing what's appropriate for a dispatcher in that type of situation. But what she's saying is just, it doesn't seem right. And, I think it's suspicious that the gun is found in the, she goes out and she's standing in the water. Why wouldn't she have just done it in her car? Why in the water? Because the water can wash away gunshot residue. So they can't tell whether she has gunshot residue on her hands or there's gunshot residue on the gun. Like they can't. It'll wash everything away.
Right.
So if her, so her fingerprints, her DNA, all that stuff won't be, the gunshot residue won't be there. They won't have all that on the gun, it'll be gone. And I just wonder, and the fisherman says he heard her crying, but he didn't go and check. Like, how long did he hear her crying before the gunshot wound, And she had a sandwich in the seat of her passenger seat, too. I mean, something about this just doesn't add up. Either way, whether she did this because she wanted to draw attention to him and his evil ways and expose him for who he is, or if there's something more sinister here, either way we look at this case is very strange. What is my shirt? Oh, here, let me show you. My shirt is from Killer Nashville. And this was from, let's see, we went in 2021, or 2020 or 2021. And this was their shirt from the year before that I bought, because I liked it better than the shirt for the year I was there. But we spoke at this conference about Gypsy Rose. We were on a panel, and we did a special expose on it. So yeah, but this is my Killer Nashville shirt, and I love it. It's okay, Madeline. It's fine.
That's cute how they made that in the shape of a guitar.
Yeah, since it's Nashville. So yeah, it's really
right.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I get to go back this year. I have to contact them, but.
So Shortcake was asking about the truck.
Yeah.
JPM's truck.
Yeah.
Where was his truck go by on a camera, but how do they know he was in it?
Yeah, they don't. I mean, at this time, I don't know if they did or not. They can see that there's people traveling in there. Also, in the car, when we're looking at the car, let me look at this car. Her car. I want to see her car again. Where did it go? Yeah, see, you can't see how many people are in that truck at all. I mean, it's all tinted windows, blacked in, so that you can't see. So it could have been anybody. You're right. And then her car, where they show her car, it doesn't appear to have a passenger in it, but yeah, I mean, it's a bad angle. But you can't see shit in there. Anybody could have been driving that damn car, that truck, anyone. But they're saying that he had people with him on the way back.
How much do you want to bet that he gets remarried in a very short amount of time?
To the girlfriend that's not the girlfriend? Who she only saw her pastor hurting after his wife passed away tragically, and she just felt she had to go over and sit and have lunch with him because she didn't want him to sit by himself.
Right.
Come on, this is sus as fuck.
I call an immediate remarriage very soon.
I'm really getting irritated by these freaking settings that we cannot. Susie Skinner is his girlfriend. Was literally muted out by TikTok. Like I'm getting tired of this.
I don't know what the word parameters have been.
I don't either. I can't figure this out.
I was able to take 3 off last night, and I have been unmuting everybody's comments because there's nothing wrong with what they're saying.
Well, I think it's because they did put bullying protection on my account because of it. So I think it's heavily protected. It's not even like we can change the word settings or anything. I think it's definitely the anti-bullying protection, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's just annoying the shit out of me. Okay, so Sam L over here says, why get gas beforehand though? And I thought that too, but I'm wondering, it was a 40-mile drive to the park. So wondering how much gas she put in, if maybe she was on E and she needed to gas up just to get to the park. Okay. But if she put a whole full tank of gas in there, to me, that states that I'm intending to use the full tank of gas,
Right. I'm intending on returning.
Yeah, I'm intending on returning. I've got a sandwich. I got a drink. I don't know. If I was going to go and unalive myself, I don't think I'd be worrying about what I was eating.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be grabbing myself a sandwich for the road. I'd be like, let's just get this over with. Let me get this done. I'm done with my life, and let me get this done. I don't know if the park had cameras, so we'll have to look into that. I'm definitely going to try and FOIA all the other like police reports and all of that, so we have them specifically. She'd also sent some of her things to Africa because she planned on moving there. Right. And here's a woman, she's telling her family, I am scared for my life. He's scaring me. I'm being stalked. They find a tracker on her phone. It just does not, or on her car. It just doesn't seem, either she planned it out to all the way down to I'm stalking myself to make him look bad. I mean, it would be a lot of planning on her part for this to be a planned unaliving like that. And I'm not saying she couldn't. I'm just saying I don't see the signs of it.
But wasn't there accusations of abuse made by his first wife as well?
Yes, I do believe so.
So there's a pattern here.
There is a pattern here. Absolutely. There's more in this. Let's see here.
And I think that, the fact that he met her when she was 14 and started grooming her, that's a big problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got, so here's a little bit more. Her husband told the Christian Post that his wife suffered from bipolar 2 disorder, schizophrenia, and dependent personality disorder. And that's one I don't know a whole lot about dependent personality disorder. I'm going to have to go check that one in my school journals because I need to know more about what that is. I can tell from the wording, but I want to know a little bit more about what it causes, what the symptoms are, what the etiology in the brain is, all of that. So, and did not always take her medication. He added that she had previously attempted to take her own life and had been hospitalized multiple times for her mental health. He did that. He
had her committed.
Right. He has her committed.
Her will.
It's okay. User 18 whatever. It'll be on the replay. Will be on YouTube and Facebook, so you guys can catch the rest of this. And we're not going to be on too much longer because I've got some things I want to do before our afternoon stuff. So, and he said the pastor shared with his congregation the news of his wife's death over the weekend. He said, "I got a call last night. My wife died. It was self-inflicted, and it happened in North Carolina." And we played this last night yesterday when I did the first live on this. We played that, so you guys can go listen to it in the first part of this. Then he said, "Everyone pray for me, my children and everyone. You all knew she wasn't mentally well and needed medication, which was difficult to get. I'm sure we'll have more details soon, but keep her family in your prayers." Pastor Miller asked the congregation to stand and instructed them to leave the church quietly and not discuss the announcement here in the building. He added that he was taking a little break, saying it could take a few days or weeks. And according to 15 News, the pastor has been relieved of all pastoral duties at Solid Rock Church. And then I'm going to read the obituary, but let's discuss this because I'm sorry. That is just the weirdest fucking thing. I cannot imagine doing 3 freaking services and then stand in front of my congregation and tell them that my wife committed, unaliving of herself in out of town, and it happened in North Carolina, and we're so worried about her because she struggled with her mental health. And by the way, you're not allowed to talk about it as a church here in the building where you can be comforted by our elders and members of the church. I would think we have the church counselors standing by if you need to speak to one of the pastors because you of this loss. We're here for you. That would be, to me, a way I know that's how my pastor would handle it.
Right. That's how any other pastor I know would handle it.
And what the hell was wrong with the elders to allow him to do 3 services?
Or was it 2 services?
2 services, 3 services, whatever. They knew what he was going to announce. So how did the other pastor, the senior pastor or the other pastor or whatever, how did the pastor that takes over, Charles or whatever, how did they let him do that? You let him do that. 2 freaking services.
The congregation that attended the earlier service
doesn't even know
the announcement.
Right. Like, what? It's the way that I would think that the church should handle it. Should have been an interim pastor for the day, one of the elders or one of the youth pastors or one of his other minister pastors, if they had other ones, because apparently they did. Should have come out and said, done the service, the first service, and announced it to the first service. We have an announcement to make. We didn't want to interrupt the service to begin with, but we'd like you all to know Pastor Miller's wife was found, unalive this morning or yesterday morning. We are still getting details about what happened. And we will be updating the church, and we're here for you guys. We know this is going to be a hard time for all of us through the grief process, and so we're here for you. And release them and allow them to do whatever, and do the same thing for the second service. There is no way that I would believe that, they would allow him to do 2 services like that and then just announce this. It just seems so freaking bizarre. This is all bizarre.
He didn't want, I can tell you right now, he did not want the members that had attended the first service to hear it, go nuts and start calling everyone that was going to be attending the second service.
I get that, but I don't care. If you're going to inform your parishioners, you got to inform your parishioners.
Right.
You can't inform half your parishioners.
And the fact that he discussed her mental health and even medications, that's so inappropriate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he could, the thing that he could have said, appropriately, my wife was found. It's coming in that she did this to herself. It's very tragic. My wife has struggled as you all know, my wife has struggled for a long time with mental health issues. And today she lost her battle, that would have been appropriate. And he wasn't even upset. He didn't cry. He didn't shed a tear. He just stood there and said, "I want you to leave the building and let's not fucking talk about it. Bye." And then he just turned and dropped the mic and walked away. Like, it reminded me of like when the Pope came out and said, there was that one time that the Pope came out and he was like, they asked him a question about something and he said, it isn't my place to judge. And he just like dropped the mic and walked off. And everybody was like, whoa, the Pope just freaking dropped the mic, right? Like, this is what I felt like. Like, he just dumps this fucking whole freaking bullshit on him. And then just, peace out, homies, bye.
Right. And I was really ticked off that he ordered them not to talk about it and to please leave.
He also stood there and was talking about himself, saying he was good looking, etc. I'd like to see the whole sermon. I'm going to go to the website and see if it's still up there. I bet you they took it down, but I guarantee, because the website's down, I forgot. They took the website down so that you have no proof of what the actual freaking entire service said.
It would be very interesting, and I guarantee you not hard to do, to get an interview with some of his church members.
I think we should definitely do that. I think we should definitely look into that. Because they've already been, right, we played an interview with some of his former, the first church's members that was connected to his first wife, and they think that he did this. They're very suspicious. And they brought out all kinds of extra things about how he had done things with inappropriate things with girls, and he all different things. So they were, but yeah, somebody might have been screen recorded. I heard they deleted the video off the website. No, I heard, it says here that they deleted the whole damn website. I don't know.
I'm not surprised.
Can I get an interview with her sister? I can try. Yeah, I can try. We can try that. If one of the mods can maybe scour some of the articles and write down any of the important names of siblings, family, and any people you've seen, maybe give comment for me. That'll help me to be able to reach out to those individuals faster.
I guarantee you there are going to be some really pissed off parishioners that are gonna want to talk.
Oh, and yeah, I guarantee you.
I'm just sitting here counting the minutes.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I want to read this. I want to read the obituary. Her obituary reads: Micah was an energetic, affirmative, adventurous. Hey, sir, I'm going to mute you. You've got a little bit of background noise of some sort. Oh, there you go. Thank you, babe. Okay. Micah was energetic, affirmative, adventurous, faithful, loving, giving, forgiving, talented, joyful, creative, assertive, courageous, determined, authoritative, passionate, hardworking, willing to take risks, and more. She and JP have been friends since 2009, married in 2017, and spend almost every day and night together. Micah loved her little dog, Loki. She loved outdoor activities such as pushing waterfalls, hiking, skydiving, running, and going to the beach. Micah would take on any challenge, even if it was vegan, all year round. Micah was a wonderful stepmother, a wonderful wife and helper. She helped Pastor JP at the church in every way. I'm sorry, I'm tearing up now. I'm shedding more tears for her than her own fucking husband. How fucking sad is that? Micah has been a worship leader, graphic designer, youth leader, women's ministry leader, and assistant pastor. And she did all of this with the utmost honesty and fidelity. Micah has made the best of herself and always strives to be the best wife she can be.
I'm going to say this right now. From everything that I've seen and read, this woman has been a good person her whole life. Nobody has ever had anything bad to say about her. She has been, grew up in the church, very religious, a babysitter, teenage babysitter for people involved in youth ministry growing up, and then going into adulthood, marrying the pastor and helping out with things at the church. And it's so sad because she really sounds like she was a good Christian woman and that she had been a good girl, even, from childhood through teen years, and so for him to belittle her in such a way and disgrace her name by talking about, her mental illness, I don't think that she had a mental illness. I think she had a crazy husband.
Okay, so this is kind of, I've been through this. When I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, it was because of my erratic behavior to the situations that I was being put into. And they thought that that's why. Well, later on, when we started looking into more about the things and when I started getting off the medications for it and everything, what we discovered was my mental health was hugely affected by my environment. And so I was living in a crisis environment and a chaotic environment at all times.
Right.
And so
I was living in fight or flight mode.
That's what I said,
I was constantly in a reactive
state.
Reactive mindset because I was just waiting for the next attack. I was just waiting for the next abuse cycle. I was just waiting for the next horrible thing to happen to me and my children. And it was just constant and nonstop. And that will drive you crazy, especially when you have people that don't believe you. Yeah. But when she's getting tire slashed and the dealership is finding a GPS planted on her vehicle, and she's been telling people this and nobody is listening to her, I can tell you that will drive you crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. It will. And it especially if no one's believing you. He's a man in power, and well respected by his community, all the shit. We all know it,
Right.
And I'm tired of men in power abusing their authority against women and children. It needs to stop.
I think that the divorce was going to expose him for,
I agree,
like you said, possible SA with minors and very much financial. It was going to, the financial issue there alone is motive.
Yeah.
But then the other things, and I believe she would probably have said, that he groomed her as a teen because, does he understand that when he talks about how he met his wife and how he knew that, she was the one God wanted him to be with, but she was 14, that's a problem.
Yes. Fidelity. That was an odd choice in words in that context. No. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I mean, there's some things in this obituary. It's obviously written by JP. And, I think it's interesting that it's still all about him. And like somebody said over here, it sounds like more like a Facebook post than a freaking obituary. Like, it doesn't say she was survived by her, 3 sisters or 2 brothers or dog or cat and her husband. No, it's all about,
like it's more of a resume.
Yeah, like
these are my hobbies and interests.
These are my hobbies and interests. I met JP and JP and me have been friends since 2009, so we have had a good relationship since 2009, folks. Just make sure JP and I have had a good friendship since 2009. We want to make sure you guys know that. A good friendship since 2009. We'll make sure. You got to know that. And then he's like, the way she helped Pastor JP at the church in every way. Why does that? Why couldn't you just use the sentence, Micah's been a worship leader, graphic designer, all of that? You didn't need to put yourself in there again. And then, exactly, I think and she did all this with the utmost honesty and fidelity.
Really? So he's basically saying, like, she didn't cheat on me.
Right. Right. So we're faithful to each other. I didn't cheat on her. She didn't cheat on me. We were faithful in this marriage. I'm not having a relationship with a girlfriend who is inappropriately aged for me yet again.
Again.
I'm not doing that.
And just like I didn't abuse my first wife either.
Yeah, I didn't abuse my first wife either. No, none of that happened. I also didn't hit a woman with my car twice in 1998 at 19 years old. What the fuck is that shit?
Yeah, I accidentally ran over them twice.
Over them twice? Yes, he was cheating left and right. You're right. See, that's exactly it. She was faithful. She was the good wife. But Mr. Man, where you putting your willy?
Right.
And granted, a cheater does not a schmurderer make, but walks like a duck, talks like a duck. Quack, quack.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, guys. So we'll be covering this case as more breaking news comes out about it. We're going to try and get some interviews and some people that we can talk to about this because I want to know more. I want to know about Micah. I want to know about this lovely woman more than I want to know about this ugly pastor.
So I saw that they have set up GoFundMe accounts to help pay for her funeral. Why?
Why would you need that when you have your own church?
That's what I brought it up and said, why? Why are they setting up GoFundMes for her funeral?
Exactly. Okay, guys. So I'd love it if you'd hit the box. You guys are welcome to come up and join us and talk about this. I'd love to hear from the audience, your thoughts, your feelings about this case. This is one that I really would love to have more of a roundtable discussion about because this is something, it goes beyond just an unaliving of a person.
Shortcake. That would be, I can totally understand that. Like if they wanted to get justice for Micah by doing a GoFundMe to hire a private investigator or something like that, that I would totally, be legit on and want to donate to and be active on. But the funeral, like that's maybe people are trying to profit. I would imagine that somebody trying to profit off someone else's unaliving. I like we've never seen that happen before.
Yeah,
these people are disgusting, and when these pastors sometimes in these churches, they we're seeing every single day. There's a new documentary coming out about these churches and these cults, and who's to say that he did not have a devoted elder of the church or a devoted member of the church go and do this for him.
It's happened before.
Right.
Yeah. And see, okay, they're suing him. I'm assuming they're suing for probably wrongful death, which would be what I would think that the case would be. I want to know why the Petrie family in Gypsy's case has not sued her for wrongful death of their sister, because that's what they could do. They absolutely could do that, and it would stop her being able to profit from the crime, because she would have to take her money and pay it to the people that she harmed. There should be, and first of all, if you ever donated any money to her for her fraud and shit, you all should freaking sue her for their money back in a class action suit. Just saying. But yeah, that's what but I'm assuming that's what they're probably suing him, JP, for, is wrongful death.
Aren't they past the statute of limitations though in Gypsy's case?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I would think that wrongful death would have I don't know. It's only been 8 years, so I don't know. Including the celebrities. Exactly. Miranda Lambert gave her like $10,000 freaking dollars. I want to know what's in the binder Mike's had what's in the binder Mike's had on JPM. Sure, can you elaborate? Micah. Oh, I want to know what's in the binder Micah had on JPM. Yeah. Okay, all right. This reminds me so much of Susan Cox Powell, because she did the same thing. She made videos saying, if anything happens to me, it is not me, it is him. She went through her whole house and cataloged every single thing in her home so that they could tell if things were missing or whatever. She was preparing. She was telling everybody, he's gonna unalive me. He's gonna unalive me. He's gonna do it. I'm so scared for my life. I cannot do this anymore with him. She wanted out. She wanted to make sure that she had all the documents. She was documenting all of their bank accounts. Like, this is what, and that Micah was doing the same thing. And Susan Cox ends up disappeared. And then this seems so reminiscent. Like, she's detailing all of it. In case something happens to me, I want you guys to have all the information to look at. And, I think, the dispatch call, what if this is a call out for help? And so she's thinking that if I tell them I'm going to unalive myself, they will get here faster because that guy is, whatever. I mean, it could have easily been something like that, because you don't yell in a movie theater. You don't yell that you're being whatever assaulted. What do you yell? Fire. Fire, to get everybody's attention. What better way to get everybody's attention and say, I need you to find me. This is where I am. Can you find me? Do you know? And then, because she doesn't start off with, she's not crying. She's not saying, I'm going to unalive myself and I need help. No, she very calmly states, do you know where I am?
Right. I'm at a park. Can you see my phone?
Can you see my
phone? And the dispatcher's like, what's the number you're calling from? She gives it to her. I mean, I'm blown away at the way the dispatcher responded.
What if the dispatcher she called knew her? That's a possibility. That is. I mean, but I don't think so. She seemed like she was clueless. I've never heard a dispatcher behave the way she behaved, but it again reminds me of Susan Cox Powell when the social worker is standing outside the house that he has now kidnapped his 2 children into and locked the door on her for his supervised visit. And she called the 911 operator, and that 911 operator was completely defunct in helping her. He kept asking her all these questions instead of dispatching anybody out to help her. And here she is, a freaking certified, social worker of the state, telling you, I'm supposed to be on a supervised visit with this man who we suspect unalived his wife, and he now has locked me out, and his 2 children are inside, and something is going on, and I need help immediately. I don't know if there are other 911 calls she has made. There were other police reports she'd made, guys. So I'm going to try and get those for us. But if you're not going to hit the box, if nobody wants to come up, if you guys can't discuss right now, then, I'm going to probably just close it up here. Sarah, did you want to give any real final thoughts on it for today?
This is such a huge tragedy, and my heart goes out to her family.
Yes.
And her friends. And I want this to be exposed. I want him to be exposed. Yeah. Because let's say he didn't do it, or he didn't have someone do it, he's still a criminal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still getting away with obscene behavior and probably highway robbery on this church.
Right. And I'm hoping that all comes to light through this, that her death is not in vain. Maybe through her death, justice can be served. And maybe that was her thought process. I don't know.
At this point in time, I do not believe that she unalived herself.
I believe that there's a distinct possibility for either scenario right now. I don't know exactly what that is, but I think before we make a determination, I mean, that's your opinion. That's fine. I hear you. I'm leaning that way too, but I want to make sure, that we get it right, and that she gets the right justice that she deserves. I just want to know more. I really want to know more. Like you said, Amy, I want to know more. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm counting down the minutes, not hours, but minutes, until some of these parishioners come forward with interviews to the press.
Yeah.
about.
I wonder, depending on whether the site is actually down or just the thing, we might be able to find out who some of the parishioners are. You know, we can look at their friends and find and see what if any of them, you know, would be willing to talk and stuff. So I do too. I think he was involved somehow. I don't know what happened, but we'll see, you know. But anyway, guys, we will be back later this afternoon and evening. I'm trying to think. I know I've got to do the day bell, but I'm going to record that and put that out so you guys will have that. What time do you want to do the rest of our missing footage and information about Gypsy, Sarah?
You know, it seems like we get a larger audience when it's later in the day, like, you know, evening time. But we can ask, you know, some of the people that are in here right now that are wanting to come back and see if evenings are better for them or late afternoon.
You know, it just gets chaotic in my house between like 6 and 7. 8 to 10 is usually okay, but I kind of wanted to spend some time with my hubby. But we'll see what he does. So maybe 4 to 6 we might come back, or we might be back around 8 o'clock. You know, that's what I'm thinking, guys. 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. I'm thinking 4 to 6 o'clock is probably the best one that I can do. You know, that gives us a couple hours break, and then in the evening, you guys will get my day bell report, because I'm gonna go ahead and record that right now.
And remember, guys, she is on Eastern time.
Yeah, so that's 4 o'clock Eastern. We'll be back over here, and we'll walk through more of that information. I mean, this source has been so incredibly helpful and insightful. I don't know how to convert for you guys. It's 124 here right now, Xavier. So you do the math, babe. Okay. So if you guys want to catch up before you come to the live tonight to talk about the information we have, the new information about Gypsy, new evidence, actually, it's not new information, it's just new evidence that is surfaced. You might want to catch our 2 lives from yesterday that we did on it. We did a midday live, and then we did a late night live on that. And so, you're going to want to go watch that. In the first one, we played the entire press conference, his 20-minute press conference with Sure or Not, which it has not been seen in its entirety since the first time that it was aired and released and all of that. And it was been heavily scrubbed from the internet. It's very telling. I was talking about it at the beginning of the show here. So go back and listen to what I was talking about it. It seemed that the reporters were on a totally different path than we are on today. So it's very telling. We'll probably play it again tonight as well, if you guys want to hear it one more time.
And I'll tell you what, they were on the right path.
They were. I'm going to try and record the audio and put it out as a video so you guys can hear it better. I'm trying to figure out how we can make this so you guys can hear it better, because it's hard. But if you go to the source site, you can listen to it yourself. But it's a 20-minute presser. Then there was a little video from a young lady who was a neighbor who we believe is the girl that Gypsy accused of breaking in and stealing the money out of the home. When she sent money to Nicholas, that is referenced as the incident in April. It's referenced in the case files as well as an incident that happened, and it is mentioned in the press conference with Sheriff Arnott. It's very telling of where the story was headed and how we've ended up where we are. So you guys,
that clip with the young lady is only 53 seconds.
Yeah, and then there's some other clips on there that we're going to be working through, and some other stuff on there. So you guys come back at 4 o'clock. We'll be talking Gypsy, the case, not the bullshit.
How many more videos do we have?
I don't know. There's 3 parts to this. It's a 3-part series that they did.
Wow.
So we didn't even that's part 2. We didn't look at part 1, and we have not looked at part 3. So there's a lot of information here. So we'll be talking about it from 4 to 6 tonight, probably, maybe even a little later than that. on the Opeo 4 and few options on Jody case because I live where Jody. Yeah, we're trying to get into more of those. Tawny, if you want to message us at tipsforgoodwives@gmail.com, we can set up a time that we could talk about those cases with you since you live where they are and have some opinions. Yeah, you can let us know, and then we can schedule a time to actually do those talks, and then you'll be able to come up in the box and talk. How about that? Okay. And like I said, guys, yes, new evidence. So tune back in at 4:00. Make sure you come and you watch my Daybell coverage of the trial. We're going to be coming back to Natalia Grace. I'm still covering Delphi. We're waiting on that to start up again. And we are covering Crystal Rogers. There's been some things that have come out in that. I'm going to put out some videos about that too. I haven't been able to sit and do it. Yeah, I know where Jody is. Jody is an interesting story. We have covered it in the past, Tawny, on our YouTube channel. So you should definitely go check out our original coverage over the Jody Hughes and Truitt case. But anyway,
also on that, the Delphi, his trial is getting ready to start.
Right.
I believe it's the 13th.
Okay, great. So that'll be something you guys can look forward to, is that. So thank you guys for tuning in and dishing true crime with the Good Wives. Please follow us on all social medias at the Good Wives Net. You can find me here on TikTok at SpicyRed92.
And you can find me at Sadiebeth1, Sadiebeth1.
You can also join our official new Good Wives TikTok, where we will be putting out all kinds of different content, from cooking shows to enlightening content to true crime. You can check us out at Good Wives Net 2. And please remember, our book is on pre-order on Amazon and on our website. We have lots of new merch. Our blog is over there, so go ahead and check out the goodwivesnetwork.com. You can join our Patreon membership club at patreon.com/goodwivesnet for all inside documents, discussions, live YouTube replays in there, and much, much more. And thank you guys for tuning in with us. Thanks for tuning in and serving True Crime with the Good Wives, serving up true crime, one dish at a time. Bye, guys.
Thank you guys for joining. Thanks for your support.
Bye, guys. Have a good one. Oh, you have to go watch the other video. We did it yesterday. Go watch the video from yesterday. Go watch their 2 videos from yesterday so that you can be caught up for tonight. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.